What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on the channel. Super quick episode for you. Ton of conversation going on the timeline. Can the Ravens afford DJ Moore? Can the Ravens afford Robbie Anderson? Should they be paying for him? Lots of cap questions. I think if you look at the player fit, I think both players fit the Ravens. I think they both bring skill sets that the Ravens could use. They're both able to stretch the field. Kind of fit that ability of Lamar Jackson to push the ball downfield. He's still one of the highest quarterbacks in terms of average depth of target this year. Essentially, the Ravens' plan in the pass game is to push the ball downfield after teams stack the box. What's going to do that better than having deep threat wide receivers? Both of them fit the bill, but can the Ravens afford it? That's the question. Let's take a look at the team cap situation. This is from Over the Cap. This year they have 3 million. 2023 they have 48 million committed. I think they have about 37 in effective cap space, without obviously Lamar Jackson signed, and with 41 players under contract. So they're actually sitting pretty good. They're about 6 in effective cap space. A lot of that'll be eaten up by a Lamar Jackson contract, of course. But with 41, that making 42 players plus 7 rookies, you don't have a lot of holes on your team next year. Of course, you're going to be trying to upgrade, but a DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson would obviously be the wide receiver upgrade for the offense. And then, your offensive line's pretty intact. You've got your pass catchers, your running back, your quarterback. I mean, you'd be really looking at the defensive side of the ball for any possible free agents. They'd probably be going cheap. Maybe one deal that's, on one of those backloaded deals, but either way, they're in a pretty healthy cap situation. So let's take a look at DJ Moore first. Obviously, this is from Over the Cap, but courtesy of our guy Dan Reese at DP Reese 8. He put together this for me. So to take him on this year, it would only be 690K in terms of a cap hit, and that's trade in week 7. That number will change as the year goes on, as we approach the trade deadline, because as a week passes, the cap number the team takes on would be lower. And then he'd have 2016 over the next 3 years. And he's cuttable in 2024 and 2025. So DJ Moore, super affordable. You would be in a really that would be your splash move next year. They could do some things like restructure the contract, which isn't a big deal, and push some of that money down the road. Which, as you saw with 16 and 24-25 for a wide receiver DJ Moore's caliber, I think you'd be feeling pretty good about that. So in terms of top-notch wide receivers like DJ Moore is, very, very affordable contract. It will limit what they can do next year. The big thing is they would not be able to franchise tag Lamar Jackson without significant moves, because they simply could not afford it at that point. It's looking like, I think, like $50 million in terms of a cap hit, maybe 45. But either way, they would not be able to afford the cap hit of a franchise tag. Maybe that's a good thing and they get the long-term extension done. Now, the big one everyone keeps talking about with Robbie Anderson is they can't afford him moving forward. And here's why you're wrong if you say that. So this year would only cost them 690K to take him on. Dirt cheap, no issue. And so you look at the 2023 line, the cap number of 12 in the right-hand column. So what are you talking about, Cole? Well, see, it's not necessarily it's 12 million if they keep him, but if you look at the column one over from cap number, guaranteed salary, it's $0, meaning he could be cut before his roster bonus is paid, and he has zero dead cap. So if they get him for this year and things go really well, say Robbie Anderson balls out, plays really well, they'll likely be looking at extending him rather than paying that $12 million cap hit. Or they could pay it theoretically if they had a Lamar Jackson extension in place. So it really depend on those factors, but they're not bound to $12 million next year because they could just cut him before the roster bonus is played. Zero dead cap, zero issue for the Ravens. So listen, if you guys don't think the Ravens should spend money on wide receiver because of the offense they play, I get it. I get what you mean. They're going to be paying picks for these two. As you can see from Robbie Anderson, super low risk contract. He might fetch a fourth, maybe in a bidding war, a third, but not more than that. DJ Moore is going to be probably pretty comparable to Diggs, a first and a fourth, a first and a third, first and a future third, maybe, which is essentially a first and a fourth this year. So it's significant draft capital, but in terms of the contract situation, I think they're both very reasonable contracts, especially for the Ravens. So that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know down below if you're interested in one, who you'd rather have, who would you rather have at the higher price tag. Let me know if this video helped you. Hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new here. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.